Hey, everybody. I am so glad that you jumped on and started and are taking a listen to Leap to High Performance, your method for achieving amazing success. So I'm really excited that you are here and excited to share with you this amazing Leap method. So I really want to ask you guys, as you're watching this, to think to yourself, who would like to have higher performance? Who would like to have a better career? What would that be like? Think about that for a minute. Think about how excited you would be if you knew that as you are going to work and doing what you do every day, that you had more purpose. You were doing it with more purpose. Your days were more fulfilled and you were so excited about your life and your career. Who would not want that? Do you want that? We all want to have a greater impact. And let me tell you, when you are feeling better, you perform better. And I know that firsthand. And you're probably wondering, like, you know that firsthand. Well, let me share. Okay, so before I get into the LEAP method, I thought you might be curious and want to know, who the heck is this woman speaking today and why should I listen to her? Well, let me tell you. My name is Jacqueline Strominger, and I am the founder of Leap to Your Success and the LEAP method. I have lived uh, for 50 years on the East Coast, and for the last 5, yes, you can telling you my age, I've been on the West. I have over 30 years of experience in business, and if you count all the days that I worked with my dad at flea markets and selling, I learned a lot from him. Add another 10 to that, so that makes it 40. I've learned a lot. I have been the corporate employee. I have started and sold my own businesses. I have grown large teams. I've been in network marketing. I have coached leaders. I've been coached leaders in corporations. I have actually also been the job hopper because I was looking for my passion. But all in all, I have found, and what I love is that I love helping individuals and professionals grow and work and operate at high performance. So everything I'm about to share to you comes from my LEAP method inside my LEAP to Success coaching program. My intention for you today is for you to take away at least one takeaway. Does that sound good to you? To have one takeaway? But I will actually bet that you will have more than one takeaway. Okay, so let's get started. So the LEAP method, it's LEAP. Obviously, that spells leap, and it's language, energy, action, and performance. So something that you is really important to know, and you may already know this, but I'm going to remind you about this. Did you know that individuals sitting at home or working at their desk or leading a team, people who are or are part of a positive culture and feel good about themselves, are working in a positive environment, are more productive and make more money? Yep. If you are feeling good and feeling positive, you are going to make more money. Think of the saying from When Harry Met Sally, I'll have what she's having. You are going to have more money. Okay, so let me tell you the secret to this. It's language is power, right? That's a big secret. Language is power. It is the language that we speak to ourselves. It's the language that we speak to our teams with and to our family. Language is what we use to write out our vision and dreams. Language is what we use to share our mission and create the excitement around our vision and mission. Okay, so I want you to be thinking about this. Do you have a mission statement? Do you have a vision that goes with that mission statement? I want you to be thinking about that. If you you do have one, when was the last time you looked at it? Does it need to be brushed off? If you have not looked at your mission statement in a while, take it out and read it and look at it. Sit with it. Do you need to rewrite it? If you don't have a vision or an a mission statement, it's time to write one. And I love helping people write theirs and craft their vision and mission statements. It's one of the things I love doing as a coach. Here's the key thing about your vision and mission statement. You need to share it. You need to share it with yourself every day. It's that language that we need to keep telling ourselves about how amazing we are and about the work that we are doing is going to help ourselves and our family and help us create an impact. You need to share it with yourself every day. You need to share it with the people that are part of your life, whether it's your family, your team, your company. You need to create that mission statement and share it. And when I say share it, I don't mean just once, okay? We need to share it often. And here's a key takeaway. The way we speak to ourselves and the vision that we create and the mission that we have is at the root of creating a positive outlook and impact for yourself and your teams. And I want you to remember this phrase. You can't change the fruit without changing the roots. Language is the root. And it starts with that vision and mission statement and the language that we speak to ourselves. So as I shared with you, this is really important to create that vision and mission statement and share it with yourself every day. I like to have my mission statement in some key places so that I can read it when I get up in the morning, that it's on my desktop when I am sitting at my desk. It's in my notebook. It's on my phone. I like to have it in places that I can read, and I read it before I go to bed at night. It's that language that we need to keep speaking to ourselves. You need to create and fall in love with your mission statement and share it. So I really want to share something about mission statements. When you consistently share this with yourself and your team, you level up. You create and speak to yourself so that your mind starts to shift and it creates a great positive mindset. And as we're talking to ourselves, I guarantee you it also will help manifest the positive outcomes that you want to have and create. Okay. So, just a little side note, I actually wanted to share this with you that I've been working with a client and they had not brushed off their mission statement for quite some time, and they brushed it off and they actually reread it and rewrote it, and they started sharing it again with themselves. And guess what started happening? Their sales started to go up. Their focus started to go up. They were getting more meetings. And so guess what that means? Their bottom line, and they're making more money. And I'm going to bet that you want to make more money. So, mission statement, language. Okay, let's move on to the next. So, the next part of our method is energy. Now, you could be a coffee drinker, but we are not talking about the amount of coffee that you are drinking or the amount of tea that you are drinking or the caffeinated beverages or fuel beverages that are out there. No, this is the energy that I am talking about. This is your internal and external energy. Energy is usually one of two things. It's either anabolic or catabolic. So anabolic is constructive, it's building, it's healing, while catabolic is draining, destructive energy. Energy is so important to you and your teams. It's what's either going to create positive talk or negative talk. You have to think about the negative talk that happens with employees. negativity feeds on negativity. So the more negative chatter you have, the more negative is going to happen. It's also the same thing for here. The more negatively you speak to yourself, the more negative your brain is going to speak to you back. So we need to change this energy. We need to, again, use positive language to speak to ourselves and create positive energy for ourselves and our teams. So improving that energy really, again, starts with that vision and being super excited about what you are doing and offering. Sharing your vision, again, with your teams, yourself, and everyone and anyone who is involved in your life that matters to your outcome. So that means if you have a partner or your spouse, please share it with them. Okay, so if you have a team, take the time to share this with your team in your weekly meetings. Share it with your team members. Find out what their visions are individually and where do they fit in the vision for the team that you're creating and the people that you're working with, the partners that you have that you're working with. Now, this is going to really get them excited. Excitement generates excitement. And just a little note, you've got to remember this because it was such a great movie. Legally Blonde, one of the greatest quotes. Happy people just don't shoot their husbands. They don't. Happy people create positivity and create a stronger bottom line. Creates more income. So I wanted to share with you a little bit about a current client of mine. She is a sales rock star, but the company that she was working with let her go. Actually, she left on her own accord. And why did she leave? Because it was emotional torture for her to be at this company. She was not treated well. The amount of negativity in this corporate culture was horrific. It actually was so bad, she ended up in the hospital. That's how bad the emotional strain was on her. But here's the key thing, is that we started working together and her energy has shifted. And she knows she is a great growth strategist. The language that she is saying to herself has shifted and her energy has risen. And guess what? She's a hell of a lot happier and she is back at being her badass self and crushing it at a new company. As a matter of fact, actually, we are also working together on helping her create a business for herself because she knows she has so much to offer. And that's what energy does. You believe in yourself and it's, I'll have what she's having because you want that too. We people want to be around positive people. The vibe attracts your tribe and it's energy. Okay, so now we're on to A, which is action. So we talked about language, we've talked about energy. Action, this is the plan you need to put in place for you to move you to your goal and to put your vision and mission into fruition and to make it happen. And I like to share with people something you've all have probably heard about SMART goals, something that's specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely. But you may not have heard of AIM SMART. And AIM is all about creating a goal that is right for you. You're aiming. You don't just go out and shoot a target without aiming. You don't just put your car on the highway and just hope it's going to get to where you're going to go. You have to aim and know where you're going to go. So aiming is creating goals that are smart, but that are right for you. Not too easy, not too hard, but just right. Yes, I'm sure you're probably thinking about Goldilocks and the Three Bears. She had it right. It's true. When you have the right goals for you, not for your coworker, not for somebody else, but right for you, it creates a positive impact. When the goal and the action is too hard, you're going to get shut down. You're like, oh my God, I can't do that. I've got to make how many more calls today? I've got to, it becomes overwhelming. You bring in fear and disappointment. It starts to generate this catabolic energy. When they're just right for you and not too easy either, it's going to create excitement. You know that you can do it. You're going to have the thrill of accomplishing your goal, the can-do attitude, and it's going to be that anabolic energy that's going to attract others. Again, it's part of that vibe. So the action plan, whether you are working alone or on a team, is really important. So it's how you start that week. If you're part of a team, read the mission statement. If you're working in your own home office or by yourself, read it every day to yourself. It's going to help you stay focused and excited about what you want to achieve and what your goals are. And it helps you be able to share that same excitement and energy with the other people that you work with, whether it's a partner or a team member. It's really great. Now, if you are a remote worker in a big company, I have a little bit to say, and you may not like this, but I highly believe that each teams that work together remote need to come together, because there is some energy that happens when people come together that you just can't get on Zoom. So find time to get together and connect with people on your team. If you are working by yourself, find a way to get out and network and connect with other people and share your vision and talk to people. Make those meetings so that you can share your vision and connect with others. Networking is really important. And again, don't do this when you first meet somebody and throw up all over them. Make the meeting and then share your vision. And if you need help on networking, make sure that you connect with me, because I have a great Networking 101 course. There's so much brainstorming that can happen. So think of the brainstorming that can happen around like the water cooler, when people get together. So your action plan needs to start with the year and the overall vision, and then it needs to be broken down into monthly, weekly, and daily actions and buckets. I'm sure you've heard that story or read the book, Eat the Frog and Do the Hard Thing First. Do the thing that you least want to do first. But key is to create time buckets and make sure what you are doing in that week is directly related back to your goals. If you're having meetings with people and it has nothing to do with your goals, it may be that you need to put off those meetings. And one key thing I like to say, what shows up on your calendar is what is important. So that includes date nights, family, outings, things like that. It needs to show up on your calendar. And the other part of your action plan is to create and have somebody that you can be accountable to with your action plan. And by the way, if you need an action and accountability partner, I'd love to be that for you. It is one of the things I love to do and be for people. Because when you're accountable to somebody and you have to share with them what got in the way, they're gonna want to know what got in the way. And it also creates, if you're doing with a couple other people, guess what? It creates competition. And that drives and thrives. Okay, so a key thing here is making sure you have that action plan, and if you're working with a team, that you work with the team's overall action plan and the individuals that make up the team action plan, so people can know that they're all working together and know that the impact that they're going to be creating. It's really cool. I have an amazing client who, again, was doing this with his team He hadn't, he had been doing it and then he stopped doing it. And just in a few short weeks, he's just seen a huge turnaround with his company and the amount of sales that they're doing. Again, an action plan, a solid action plan with accountability, it's the double A's actually, is going to increase your bottom line and generate more income. So performance, the last part of the LEAP method. This is where really everything comes together. So performance needs to be tracked. Just take for a minute and think of all the high-performing athletes. Michael Jordan, Steph Curry, they didn't just go out and start playing. They track how well they make baskets. What is their record? What are their stats? How do they know what their personal best is going to be? Think of Michael Phelps. Yes, he has amazingly large feet. Oh, I call them flippers. But you have to know your stats to know what your personal best is, and how are you going to reach and have a goal if you don't know what you need to beat. You need to track your performance and what your actions are. So you need to know, what are your close rates? What are your booking rates? And I have a really great tracking grid. If you're by yourself and as an individual, you need to track what you're doing every day. You need to be able to celebrate that. And I'm going to talk about celebrating in a second. If you're a team, you need to be tracking that stuff for your team as well, their actions, and letting people know where you're going so you can see what the performance is. And those actionable items that you are tracking and that performance goals need to be based on what the person individually can do. Yes, there's a team as a whole, but they also have to be aimed smart for the individual, so the individual feels good about their performance. Yes, you can challenge them, but again, they need to be aim smart. And here's the big thing about performance and tracking. You need to celebrate the actions, not just the big wins. It's those small incremental steps that we do, the small incremental wins that make the big wins. Again, celebrate the action that we are doing. Yay, I made my 10 calls. Woo! Do that 10 days in a row, and guess what? You're going to get a prize. If you're doing this for yourself, give yourself a prize. What is something that you don't normally do? Maybe you don't normally go out and get a mani and pedi. Get yourself a mani pedi. Maybe you don't splurge on lattes or cappuccinos. Go get one. Maybe you don't splurge on eating sushi because whatever you don't splurge on, give yourself a reward, but set it up. I do 10 days in a row, reward. 10 days in a row, reward. So you need to celebrate the performance. And actually, what I want to make sure that you know is you need to celebrate the no's. Have you ever heard that before? You need to celebrate the no's. And why do you need to celebrate the no's? Because every time you have a no's, it's one step closer to a yes. Maybe it's a happy dance. I'm doing the no dance. I got a no today. Woohoo! Right? Celebrate the no's. And when you celebrate those and you're feeling good about the celebrating, your team is feeling good, and your people are being recognized. Keyword, people will be recognized for their actions. Your team and yourself will soar. You will have a high-performing team. You will be a high-performing individual. Now, I shared a whole bunch of stuff today, and I really thank you for taking a listen to this. If you want to leap to success and be unstoppable, I want to ask you to grab the Unstoppable Performance Bundle. Yes, you are going to get in your mailbox a printed newsletter delivered to your home or business. You will have a one-on-one passion to performance strategy session with me. You will get an unstoppable journal that you can write your plans down. And you are going to be part of the Unstoppable Tribe newsletter that is going to email newsletter that's going to get delivered to your email box with motivation, quotes, and you are also going to get my performance tracker. This is an over $2,000 value. And for you, it's $47 a month. But if you act today and click the button below, you get your first month for $7. That's a huge savings. So grab the Unstoppable Performance Bundle and get started today for $7. Thank you for joining, and I'm so excited that you have listened. Here's to Unstoppable Performance.